did not appreciate me. I'm about to throw a fit. Now I'm shaky anytime I grab the mic. I won't be shit. I guess I'm just not good enough that I get making me sick. But maybe if I spit some quick that's needed, then some licorice to finally understand it was written in the stars. Just because I need immediate results so I can have a face it. Barely smile no more. I want to overthink my wasted. I like when they is stressed by me and say my rapping is impeccable. I got so many snakes all around me, they undetectable. Oh my god, I be too many, shit is unpredictable. But I'll redo it till they satisfied. Even if my jaw ache, been sipping school, I'm missing sturdy, y'all. I be up so late, so I can lay this track so great, so they ain't even gotta say do it again, something just ain't right. Do it again, something just ain't right. I really wish that competition didn't turn to opposition, but anytime I start spitting, it just seem to get so livid. Niggas keep running off of my bars like I'm Willy Wonka. If they take my golden ticket, it would kill me. I'm a hunter. Who you know that works for this? Turf for this, put their pride in worth in this. I'm surfing shit back to back like the way they give us shit, but it's not good enough. They ain't finished with unless I'm talking about sex and drugs. So I'm just because I missed the fun. They worry about rocking labels that don't care for us. Trump was ever there for us. KK was his thing. I ain't talking automatic, son. It's easy just to roll in the blaze and record what they wanna hear and perform the shit on top for the youth. Someone had to find a balance. So in midst of all the fast food, I throw in a couple salads. Ask them if they like it and always the same response. Do it again, something just ain't right. Do it again, something just ain't right. Oh, you were rapping up some slam and I just got the mic. Oh, you can do better than this, man, I guess that you right. Confidence wearing thin, they said it don't sound right. Well, I thought I was doing well, think that you just might hurt this mic. If they ain't thinking that you gotta rewrite, I guess it's true. Started doing this to me, now it's to you.
Hey, you got your cup?
Yeah,
Something in your cup?
we on.
Oh.
Keep running your damn mouth. I don't know why.
Y'all let me know you.
I told you we were on. Everybody else know we on. You don't be paying no attention. You got another song to play? Just hit the other song before you set that up so you can listen to it. But that the Mevo is still, the Mevo's going. You on the Mevo? What is y'all doing?
I'm charging.
What is we doing today? Everybody's like happy and have that.
Where you going on Facebook? Where you going?
Instagram.
Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my hooks. Sometimes I feel like losing my cool. I ain't got shit to prove, but I got shit to lose, so I can't go my ass to the floor. But if y'all bitch the news, don't make us step into it and let that shit go like a flow. I may come in them suits, so y'all bitches say too big bodies, so y'all better make it. Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my hooks. Sometimes I feel like losing my cool. I ain't got shit to prove, but I got shit to lose, so I can't go my ass to the floor. But if y'all bitch the real, they broke like the tool, and he let that shit go like a flow. To make come in them suits, so y'all bitches say too big bodies, so y'all better make it. Once I get in my mood and my own look cool, they keep saying they want to see me bloom. But don't get it confused, they just want me to use for the clout with them big bitchy blues. Get a check for performing, that's true, and you know where that's going, that's straight to my shoes. It just be me and Cream, really nice in the studio, you ain't gay, you can't hate my crew. Tell them go speak my name, cause it's true, I don't bang with you if you a fake or a fool. Smoking at a young age, this is true, but I can't give up, think I'm in love with the boo. Mama say that I stink, I can't even debate, cause I love the perfume in my room. Chicks I check it with thanks till I give me that next, so you love me, you gon' have to prove. Tell me I gotta watch what I say, but I'm watching, I write down a 10 everything. I don't sound like nobody, so stop trying to rob me. Heard they was looking with some funny. I be posted on Washington if I'm not bodying your tracks or performing for Pakistan. Yeah, I'm still true to topic. I need a biopic for this. Riding by licensing. Lights, cameras, they flashing it. Lanes, I'm moving faster than brains. You know I'm packing it. Roll up that package then. So up, you bitches slacking it. Displaying something more than averaging. Catching up, but there ain't no traffic there. Catching up, there ain't no traffic there. Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my moves. Sometimes I feel like losing my cool. I ain't got shit to prove, but I got shit to lose, so I can't go around acting the fool. But if y'all break the rules, gon' be broke at the tool, and he let that shit go like a boom. See me coming up soon, so y'all best to stay tuned. Big body, so y'all better make room. Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my moves. Sometimes I feel like losing my cool. I ain't got shit to prove, but I got shit to lose, so I can't go around acting the fool. But if y'all break the rules, gon' be broke at the tool, and he let that shit go like a boom. See me coming up soon, so y'all best to stay tuned. Big body, so y'all better make room. Ain't no bushes, but I am not Kazam. Cooking shit up without a frying pan. Flipping script on my director shit, but I'm new enough to be casted as an extra man. I'm moonwalking and I'm smooth walking to the top. You bitches lose too often. If it ain't ever happened, I gotta subtract. Tryna multiply cash and division of rabbit. Put it together and now you a habit. That's what they like to call simple mathematics. They ain't supporting, but I ain't mad at it. Don't need a step so far. I'm trying to be. I ain't part of the four, but I stress like elastic. Ain't part of the four, but I call me fantastic. Ain't had it in a long time, just like Jurassic. Ain't been here a long time, but I'm still a classic. Go walk the trip, kicking in martial arts, claiming that you the illest. But your brother's spices in city made this skip. You best play your part. I'm a race to place. I switch and miss. Cause the kids love the bitch. Know I'm very bitches hard. And they know I've been real from the start. Drawing pics with my lyrical art. Still look at the dash on the car. And it's just a start, so y'all better come hard. Your whole paper thin, I'ma tear all your part. Smoking on dope and it's thin like a fart. They told me sour face, party so tart. That's in my chest, Superman shit. Y'all might as well go call me Clark. Getting motion sick when I drop my shit. Pepto, make these hoes die. Tell them gon' wrap it up like a scarf. I'ma last forever like a scar. They wanna say what's in, but I don't go with them. These presents just not up to par. And I know that I'm gonna make it far. I'm the target, they throw them the darts. I'm a beast when I show my teeth. These bitches scream, got them thinking I'm a shark. Shining brightly, them frost in the dark. Just be playing like I'm in the park. Think I want a nigga, bitch. How you figure could have had him, but he isn't hard. Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my moves, but I will not let these hoes make me lose my cool. The name is Sin, baby, scream it if it's true. Go try and everybody ready? What I do. Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my moves. Sometimes I feel like losing my cool. I ain't got shit to prove, but I got shit to lose, so I can't go around acting a fool. But if y'all break the rules, gon' be broke at the tool, and he let that shit do like a fool. So me coming up soon, so y'all miss to stay tuned. Big body, so y'all better make way. Bitches jocking my moves, imitating my moves. Sometimes I feel like losing my cool. I ain't got shit to prove, but I got shit to lose, so I can't go around acting a fool. But if y'all break the rules, gon' be broke at the tool, and he let that shit go like a fool. So me coming up soon, so y'all miss to stay tuned. Big body, so y'all better make way.
Is everybody ready? Can we push the? Can we go? Can we go? Can we go? You first, friend. I'm gonna take some mic. Salty. Oh wait, no. First of all, I'm sorry. I gotta say hello and everything. But I don't need that. I'm loud enough as it is.
Oh, okay.
Are we ready, Sultan? Hi everyone. This is my name is Cynthia Hardaway. We're here today with our. This is the 11th podcast. Can't keep up. We're moving really fast. I think it's our 11th podcast. And today we're here to talk about Miranda, a little bit more about knowing involuntary statements. I'm trying to pull up cases as we go through this podcast because I was a little behind and wasn't able to do my research in advance. However, I'm Cynthia. I'm an attorney. I'm a practicing lawyer in New Jersey, and I'm here co-hosting the show with. He'll introduce himself. He doesn't like to say his name. Hamid, you can tell him. We're co-hosting. Both of us are co-hosts to each other.
Yes, we co-host.
Okay. So, and just briefly, Hamid and I met through the legal system. If you haven't been tuning in before, we became friends. We've been friends ever since. As part of our format, we're now introducing our Artist of the Month. Prem is here. He's going to tell you about the music that you've been listening to and our featured Artist of the Month.
Once once again, New Flames, coming straight out of Jersey. Sin Baby, great artist. I got a lot of projects with her. I mean, she got something real deep coming through the streets. She holding it down. I mean, you could catch her on Instagram, YouTube. She on mad different platforms. SoundCloud. Just check her out. It's Sin Baby. That's on every platform.
And can you spell it for him, friend?
As ITSYNBBY, or is it ITSSYNBBY?
Okay, thank you so much, Premier. Appreciate it. And also we have Shakira here. She's going to tell us, let you guys know what our mission statement is, and tell you where to find us if you have any questions, concerns, issues you want to address. Ms. Patrick, I'm sorry,
Hello.
Shakira.
Happy Daddy's Day to everybody. Enjoy your day. Happy Daddy's Day. I want to introduce BYRD is a visual podcast series focusing on the legal system as it impacts and infiltrates our everyday existence. The mission is to free our minds through sharing knowledge and experiences in order to promote awareness, inspiration, and self-love. We also have a call-in number at 973-877-3737. You don't have to give your name. All you have to do is ask the question. If you want to be left anonymous, you can. You can also follow us on Instagram, BYRD Podcast. Also on our YouTube channel, Beyond Reasonable Doubt Podcast Series. Please subscribe. And on our Facebook page, it's Beyond Reasonable Doubt Podcast Series. Enjoy your day, everybody.
Thank you, Shakira.
No problem.
So now, guys, I also want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. Hamid, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. Preem, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. Sultan, for my grandpuppy, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. And
I'm a father of 3.
Father of 3. You, Preem? How many babies you got that you're aware of? One baby, okay.
That's the only one that you claim?
That's right.
And we want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, to all the stepfathers out there, to all the sperm donors out there. We appreciate all y'all for helping us in any way that you can to give us our beautiful children, whom we women all love, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without you, even with the minimum of your sperm. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, what we're here going to do today is we're supposed to talk about Miranda. I'm kind of fumbling through because I did not do my research. I didn't have time. I had a lot of stuff going on. So I'm trying to pull some cases for you now, because I just don't like to speak unless we have cases to guide us. In the interim, though, I'm gonna let. Okay. Thank you for the comment. I don't know how that popped up on the Mevo, but thank you, Ms. Marshall. I appreciate it. I want to talk to let Hamid. Can you please take the mic here while I'm trying to look up some stuff and tell us what Father's Day and being a father means to you. And then can you tell us, if you can, the ages of your children? Don't be shy.
No. Well, prior to me having kids, I had my fair share running around the street with no care in the world, doing whatever I want, however I want. Even if I had to go to jail, it was like, all right, I do my time, come back out, and jump back in. That whole little twist changed now because once you have kids, you can't be selfish and think like that no more. So
well, can I say, okay, since you are going down this road, and stop me if I don't want to embarrass you or for you to share more than you are willing to share, but I for one know you have a very interesting story from how you came up, how you went through the system, how you had kids, how you came out of the system, how you become a working man. So, you know, as an inspiration, because we did say our mission, if you heard it from Shakira, is for us to enlighten our minds, free our minds with shared experiences. So Hamid has experiences that I would like for him to share. You could not share if you don't want, but can you tell us what it was like from the beginning coming up, and you know, some of the things that you had to go through and how you ended up on the wrong path, and how you straightened yourself out? Can you give us a little glimpse into that?
How I started into the street thing?
Well, basically, like what was your upbringing? Like who raised you? How, you know? Give us a little insight about that. Were you rich? Were you poor? Did you
No.
Were you in the struggle? I mean, most of us was in the damn struggle. So I'm not throwing you out there, but I'm just saying, you know, we need to be inspired, and you know, everybody in this room had a little bit of struggle.
Yeah. So my upbringing was ugly. I lost my parents at around 9 years old. Just me and my brothers, and my grandmother basically raised us. Her and my uncle. My uncle played the part, but my grandmother was more of an impact. My uncle did too, but it was my grandmother that we was always around. Woke us up every day for school. My grandmother was fairly old, couldn't really catch up with us, so we did whatever we wanted to. A lot of the stuff forced us to the street because we couldn't afford a lot of the stuff that our friends was getting as far as clothes, all different kinds of stuff. So,
at what age do you think that you became aware that other kids had stuff and you didn't have?
We was aware of that when we, like, you know, at 9 it wasn't no care in the world. We didn't even think nothing of it. And then when we got like 14, 15, then we started to see a difference in how people started treating us, looking at us, calling us different names, and the decision was hard to figure out how we was going to get the same stuff that the people had.
And when you say the same stuff, I know you said clothes, but I mean, I know with my kids, when they got a little older, they wanted the sneakers, and it wasn't any sneakers, it had to be these sneakers.
Yeah. It was Jordans, Air Maxes.
Right.
My grandmother normally, when she goes shopping for us, it was all cheap stuff. All cheap. She was spending like $30 sneakers, and they ripped off our feet in like the first week, 2 weeks.
And you were growing pretty fast around then, that time? Okay.
At the 8, my brother was the first, my twin was the first person that stepped off the porch with hustling. He was the first person that stepped off the porch and started hustling. And
okay, can you explain the hustling, the term, to people who may not understand?
But selling drugs.
Okay.
And
is that it? Is there some other hustle that he might have had, or that was basically it?
It wasn't no other way. We didn't think it, like studying and being around the kind of people that was hustling. My brother got familiar with just watching first, and once he got the concept, it was like he dove in. He went all in, and watching my brother come
What's
home.
That mean? Huh? Hold on 1 second. What?
It stopped, and I'm back at the beginning because it said error loading, and I can't come back to where y'all at.
Oh well, we here. It's not doing anything on our end.
Okay.
Hit the music. Just give us a second, guys. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Just a second. Sultan, are we having problems on this end? Sultan, we over this. I don't think so. I think we good over here. Nothing's coming up.
We have having a problem. I can't. I just stopped loading on mine. It said error loading, and I couldn't get back to where they were at. It took me back to the beginning. So is they okay?
I mean, they're still recording.
They still recording? Okay.
As long as this doesn't come off, they're still recording.
Okay. He said, this is okay. If it's long as it's recording, it's okay.
Somebody said it's good on it. Well, this
You good? Okay.
This good on this end is her actual Nevo camera outside of my phone that's recording.
Okay, we're back. We're recording this also on the Mevo for Facebook, so that when we are done with this live feed, we have a recording that we could upload. So that's what we were trying to make sure it was right, but we're good. So you're talking about your brother. Are you sure you got permission to talk about your brother on the podcast? You sure he won't try to sue you or anything?
No, my brother not. And my brother like glue.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were telling the audience that at some point y'all started recognizing that you didn't have some of the things that other people had. Now, did you, at your school, did they tease people and make fun of people because they weren't having all these nice clothes and shoes and all that? They did all that? Okay.
Yeah, so from middle school, we ended up being called the Dirty Twins,
Oh, no.
the Dusty, the Black Ugly Twins.
Dang.
Yeah, we had a bunch of names was called on us. That even messed with your self-esteem at some point.
At some point, I could imagine.
So we came up with low self-esteem, all kinds of crazy stuff. Me and my at that time, me and my brothers we didn't know nothing about having a close relationship. And then coming up more as we got older, we looked at the value of the relationship from that point. So me and my brother basically we glued together for the rest of our life.
Okay, thank you, Miss Marsha. I appreciate it.
Aside from that, so my brother jumped off the porch. He started at 14, 15, and once he did that, then it was my little brother, and then I came right behind him.
And this was all at 14, 15, 16?
Yeah. And then
well, I want to ask you this.
Arrested.
Let me ask you this. So, you said that you learned from people around you. So, is it just like if you just would happen to go outside and be hanging out, you would just see it visibly all around you? Meaning you didn't have to go searching for...
No, you didn't have to search for it.
Okay.
You could go down the street, going to the store, it's right there. You couldn't escape from it. The environment, the little circle that we was in, the radius, it was like almost on every corner. So you watch it as you go into the store. You see little signs, people making sales to the next person, and you put your common sense together, and you can see exactly what's going on.
Did you see that those people who were already out there doing that, selling drugs, did you see that they had things? Did you put that two and two together?
Correct,
that if I did this, then I could get the sneakers?
Yeah, when you walking past, you look at, oh, those nice. You look at the sneakers, you look at the whole wardrobe, and you could clearly put two and two together and see how he's purchasing all of this. So
were these people also of your age, or were they older people?
Older. It was older people. Everybody that we basically was around, that they was all hustlers.
Older people. And so you were able to make contact, and then I don't want to, I just got questions.
After
Like,
them seeing you so much,
they'll be like, do you want to be on? Do you want to?
No, we never went down that road.
Okay.
That's how it normally happened. You watch the older people, and then somewhere they'll introduce it to you. Mm-hmm. Not with us, it was different. We didn't have no older people, older heads to say, yo. We just kept watching, and then my cousin, with no names being said.
Oh, please don't say no names.
He was already connected on how to purchase the drugs and where to get it from. So that's how we end up we went through him and learned the process on how to, where they go to get the drugs. At the time, you had to go to New York all the time. It wasn't available in your state, your town, in your area. You had to go to New York.
And Shakira, I see you over there shaking your head. So have you witnessed that in neighborhoods as well? Like, would y'all say that it is that could be a common thing as opposed to just not too often?
No, it's but it's different now.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about back in the day.
Oh yeah, that was the common way to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we had to learn how to take the train to New York and learn how to come back and take different trains. And if sometimes the train wasn't, if it's out of order, it wasn't available, you had to find a different way to get back. Some people took the bus back, some people took the train, some people took the car.
This is all at 15?
Yeah, 15, 16 years old.
So
when you purchase, at the time when we was purchasing the drugs, you was purchasing it from an older person. It wasn't nobody in our age bracket that we was getting it from. We was getting it from an older person, an older dude. And then normally he wouldn't deal with a younger person. Mm-hmm. But once he got familiar with you, he trusts you. You have to gain the trust.
Right.
And then it was like, all right, boom. And we gained a relationship and started dealing with the poppy for about 7-8 years.
So when you said gain the trust, is that like you get a little bit, see how you do with it, then if you do well, you could get more drugs?
No, it's based on the money that you spend it. That determines how much you getting.
But if you just a kid, some young kid from, out of nowhere, how do you establish a trust connection with somebody who, like an older person who don't even know who you are?
When we first went, we went with somebody who was already dealing with him for so long.
It's an introduction.
And then, he'd say, yo, look, this is my cousin. He good peoples, blah, blah, blah. When you see him, make sure you know you come from me. And then that's how you establish your relationship with him.
And the person who's providing the drugs, he's okay to provide to a lot of different people because that's more money in his pocket.
No, he wants to provide to the people that he's comfortable with and safe with. Mm-hmm. He's not just serving to anybody because they got the money.
Okay.
It's because everybody got their own connect. Everybody got their own connections. I was introduced by my cousin, and that's the only reason why he had messed with me. If I never was introduced by him, he wouldn't even
bother with you.
Yeah. Even if I was like, yo, I'm looking for some, he'd have been like, he wouldn't even say, oh, I got it. Mm-hmm. He'd just act like he didn't even hear you.
So when you was going back and forth to New York, was this during school hours or after school hours? And then what did your grandmother have to say?
My grandmother didn't know.
Because that was part of her not being able to run up after you because she was older.
Yeah. My grandmother, she was much older. She couldn't catch up with us. You know what I mean? So after school, or if I decide not to go to school, we'd just jump on the train and go to New York. And we go get it. At the time, the prices was much cheaper. So you could spend a little and get a lot. Now these days you got to spend a lot just to get a little.
Well, you're not involved with any of that stuff these days, cause
not these days. But when I say these days, that was like in the 90s. And now in 90s, 2000s. Now we in the late 2000s.
And you understand that things are run differently from what you hear on the streets. Okay, so bring us up. So that was 15, 16. Now, when you said your brother started earlier, so what age do you think that you became involved? Same 16?
Yeah, when I say he started earlier, we was still my brother started when, like 14, 15. He started like 14. I started like 16.
Okay.
But I more watched him. I watched him how he used to come back with the money so fast, and then he start working on his gear, trying to get his gear up. And
so what did your grandmother say when you had these new clothes that's different from the $30 sneakers that she was buying?
Eventually my grandmother, when she did find out It was always cussing and threatening us. I'll catch you. I'm calling the police. Who you selling drugs for? Because she didn't think that we was capable to do it by ourselves. So it was like, and she did find it. When she was finding it, she wouldn't immediately destroy it because she was worried about our safety. She's like, well, whose stuff is this? And we wouldn't tell her because it wasn't nobody to really tell whose stuff it was. It was ours. And I remember one day my grandmother blackmailed me and found like $1,500 worth of drugs, and it was like, she always want to clean up our room when we leave, and she found it under the bed. And when I came back in the house, I went under to look for it, and I already had it in my head. I said, the room too clean. It came from her, but the courage to go downstairs to go speak to her about the drugs was a little difficult. But my grandmother was waiting for me to come down there to say something to her. Like, she kept looking at me like, and I keep walking fast, acting like, and she like, God damn it, I know what you walking fast for. You got something to tell me?
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm stuttering. She said, you got something to tell me? And I say, you found the stuff. I want to tell her exactly what it was. I just say, you found the stuff under the. Yeah, I done told you to keep that stuff out of my house. I said, well, I got rid of it. I think you destroyed it. I said, Grandma, that was a lot of money. And she was like, she said, I know how much the thing's going for. They $10 a piece. I want half of that money and you can have it back.
Oh my God.
And I was like, man, you blackmailing me?
Oh my God.
But when my grandmother opened that door, then I felt more comfortable. Like, I laughed at it, but I knew she didn't want it in her house, but she didn't want to destroy it because she kept thinking in her head they may be doing something for somebody, and I don't want to get them hurt. And
Do you think that you would never notice, but do you think that maybe it was a relief off of her mind that you guys were able to make money on your own and she didn't have to pay for as much as she would have?
Yeah, because then we started helping my grandmother. You know what I mean? At some point, she like electric bills and stuff come around. Food. Then we start getting little cars. Take her to bingo. Take me to bingo. But we still wouldn't disrespect her and just sell it in front of her face. And then when I got arrested.
Well, when was the first? Around what age was
15. I got arrested at age 15. I went to juvenile, and then like 3-4 more times after that, and then I got arrested in New York. I got arrested in New York 3 times on Rikers Island.
Oh my God!
Sent came and got me out of running. Remember?
My memory is so bad.
You don't remember coming to New York?
Not in no 15, no.
No, I said
You was an adult.
No, I was 20. I was 23.
I don't remember.
You came to New York.
How you gonna jump from? We was at 15, 16. You at 23 already?
Yeah.
I still ain't done with 15, 16.
So I got arrested about
you're juvenile. You started you got accumulated a juvenile record.
Yeah, accumulated a juvenile record at like 15, 16, 17, 18. I went down Jamesburg at 18. I came home at 19. And then
did the drugs lead to other different types of crimes that were different from the drugs, or it was just basically drugs?
No, we was just all drugs. We never had no no violent history. We never had no nothing else, like no other charges that was major.
And so through all of that, was you able to get your diploma? Did you graduate from high school?
Correct.
Okay.
I graduated and when I was going to school, you needed 110 credits, and I went down Jamesburg and I had 98 credits left. When I came back home 18, And I was like, I ain't even really care to go back to high school at that age. I'm about to be 19. So I applied for Votech in Scotch Plains, and I got my diploma there.
So you wasn't, while you was down at Jamesburg, you wasn't able, and explain what Jamesburg is for people out there who may not know.
That's basically like a juvenile prison for juvenile delinquents.
So that's all people under 18
Under
there.
18, yeah.
And they don't have nothing there where you could get your diploma, or maybe you just...
Yeah, they got all kinds of they got school. They most of the time when you go down there, you forced to go to school. They force you to go to school. They got different before they used to have different trades down there that you could, get. Now they don't have that. You just either go to school and just sitting around for the most part, doing nothing. Weight room, gym, stuff like that. So I don't know what they doing now.
So when you were released at 19, you didn't go back to high school. You went to a Votech and got your high school diploma.
Correct.
And then at that time, did you have children by then or no?
No, I wasn't. I had my first daughter at 22.
Okay.
At 22.
Now, did you, when you got out, got your diploma, did you at that point try to get a job, or did you continue on the lifestyle that you had started?
Correct. It was never, a job was never, I had no direction. I didn't know what I wanted to do. A job was never, it was like, the lifestyle was it was fun. It was fun coming outside hustling and being outside with the big crowds. I ain't never think about working.
Well, I don't think you ought to be sending a message to the kids out there that
I'm
hustling.
telling you my story.
I know. I know.
I'm not.
But looking back on it, then, because we gotta fix that up, because y'all, it ain't fun. I mean,
no, it's not fun now. At the time, it was fun when we was out there. Now you
I mean, but the young kids out there now who might be your age, maybe they think it's fun as well.
Well, it ain't fun when you going to jail. The way they doing jail now, you don't get no bells no more. They strip you for everything, and it wasn't even fun going to jail when we was younger. Nah.
No more food packages?
Yeah, they was doing.
You gotta get the commissary.
Yeah, the commissary was different. You could send it from home. They could actually go to the grocery store and get it and send it to you.
And now you gotta buy only from the commissary.
Correct.
So the commissary is when you go to prison, that's the prison-sponsored store where you could buy your goods, like your toiletries, your food. Yeah. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's cheap and expensive.
Right. So, overpriced.
Yeah, overpriced. So the honey bun that you would get in the corner store for 50 cents is $1.50.
Hey.
That Roman noodle soup that you could go in the store and get for 50 cents is like $1.50. And it don't even say Roman. I don't think it say Roman no more. It's
what, oodles and noodles? They got different kinds. They got ramen noodles, oodles and noodles.
They got the packages that you never seen in the store before. It's so cheap.
They got some other stuff.
The Kool-Aid. A pack of M&M's like $2.50.
What you mean?
The little pack of M&M's in the store, that one? Yeah, like $2.50.
And how often can you order from the commissary?
Oh, down prison? I think down prison you can order every week.
Yeah, well, that ain't too bad, but that's a lot of money if your relatives have to keep sending you money.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to. I'm gonna go ahead. I know we're gonna do Miranda next week because I want to hear about the rest of Hamid's story because I want to get to the good part. Don't look like that because I was gonna ask you all this before and you had already agreed to it. So, so you didn't. You. I want you to tell us. At 19, you came home and you still were out in the streets because for whatever reason you thought it was fun. Do you think that young kids, when they're out in the street, they actually think that it's fun?
Yeah. I think even to this day.
And why? Okay, so that's the part I'm just kind of having a hard time wrapping my head around that. Because it's fast money. or they don't have a care in the world. Because I remember I did a lot of stuff when I was.
But it's different when you introduce to the street like that. When you introduce to the street at 17, 16.
Did you looking at the Mevo? Mr. Shell just made a comment. It went. Oh, you can't see the comments? Oh, okay. It says something costs $1, but it goes real fast on what I'm looking at.
But
I see him.
Okay.
New York food pricey than
So
Jersey.
now let's get back to this having fun, because listen, let me just tell you something. Me being a criminal defense attorney, and I see a lot of young kids come into the system, and I often wonder. One of the things that I wonder about, not so much the drugs, because I could kind of understand about selling the drugs to get money when you don't have money and you want things. I kind of understand that. But what I see a lot of is this this joyriding shit. I mean stuff. Sorry. You know what, y'all? I curse, and I'm trying my best. And, you know, on a regular, that's just what I do. So I'm not making no apologies for it.
The reason why I can speak on it because I was young, 17, 18, and the teenagers that's in the streets and they doing all this crazy stuff.
Like the car, like taking the cars and just driving up and down the street for no apparent reason. What is
that's fun. It's different from somebody that's a 16, 17-year-old boy that's going to school every day, not even looking in that direction. He playing by the rules of what his parents, how they teaching him. But the one that's just a defiant and he going out there, it now is even harder trying to get him to get back on track in that direction, because now he polluted. He polluted. He got to go through some experiences, like going through jail, going through a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and in order to get it right. And sometimes it may take him to go 2, 3, 4 times to jail, and by the time he get it, it's like, damn, I wasted all that time. But once you get most of the time, once they get caught up in that street life, they get polluted. It's always fun to them. Stealing cars, driving.
Is it more convenient than fun? Is it more because of you don't have no time frame when you gotta get up, you can do whatever you want, and not more so like,
but it's all on the parent too. If the parent is not on the child back like that and giving him, because my grandmother, we took advantage of her because she was old. She was older, so it was like doing all kinds of stuff under her eyes without her even knowing. And then when she thought that we wouldn't be doing this, because my grandmother always be quick to speak on us, like, oh, my grandson will never do nothing like that. You know, and in the back of my head, never clearing it for her to say, damn, grandma, I did that. I just let it be, like. But if the parent not on the kid like that, and they get that, do whatever they want, it's almost kind of hard to get them back on track once they hit that street. Like,
do you feel like that the kids that run together and do the crazy stuff, that they all have something in common, that their parents is not on top of them, trying to make them do the right thing? Or
all parents is different. It all is like some of the kids wait till their parents go to work. They know the schedule when they mother or the father leaving, when they coming back. That's when they sneak the girls in the house, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But
sneaking the girls in the house, that's a little. I think everybody did a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the whole taking people's cars and I don't know, like the stuff that seems bizarre to me. This is just me speaking based on the things that I have come across as a lawyer. This whole taking the car, not for parts, and not that I'm condoning that, but just taking the car just to go joyride nowhere. Or robbing people for cell phones. Like, what the hell are you gonna do with a cell phone? Like, that's not even a money making
cell phones wasn't even out when we used us. Like, you had to run back in the house and jump on the phone.
The beepers were out.
Yeah, but even then, before the beepers was out, we had to call hoping that Carlos is in the house. And then, his grandmother, his mother be like, he ain't in here. He around the corner somewhere.
But you probably can find him out on the street.
It was easy to run into each other because we ain't never really go outside of the circle like that. But the kid, it's all on the structure of the parent. It's on how they structure. If you got a curfew, if the teenager got a curfew that he got to comply by, chores and stuff, it's kind of hard for him to finagle. If the parent staying on him like that, that's routine all the way from little all the way up. It's hard for him to really try to shake and jive it. But once the parent lack up, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so like it's got to start early, like from like 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to be on them. Or just teaching them a particular way. Well, let me ask you something, Shakira, because you're in the educational system. So when the troubled kids that you find, babies, do you find that a lot of it stems from the discord they have in the house, or something that that's going on with the family unit that's making these kids troubled at such an early age?
Well, the problem that I see is that the younger moms and dads, they don't know how to independently discipline their kids. So it's like the kid might be good when they're with the parent, but then when they come off to school, it's like you just not taught to respect you because you're a stranger to them.
But the kids, the parents are younger now. Their upbringing wasn't even. And not only that,
which when you say younger, what's the idea that you're saying like younger? What's
18?
Oh, because you said you had your first kid at 23.
Yeah,
I think I had my first one at 25.
But my grandmother was on us. Like she kept drawing. You better not bring no baby.
When you had your first?
I had my first at 15.
Oh, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
So I had to grow up really, really, really fast.
Okay, so let me just ask you, at 15, what did, and I don't see, I want to ask questions, but I don't want nobody to go any further than they want to in their own private life. But do you feel that maybe that there was some structure lacking in your environment that led you to want to go through with that at 15, to go ahead and just have the baby?
No, my grandmother was pretty much at a tight little leash. But it was just figure out a way how to get around whatever you wanted to do, whenever you wanted to go out. And I was taught about diseases. I was taught stuff, but
can y'all hear her out there?
Time, I was just
somebody answer.
Do what I wanted to do, and it made it hard. It made it hard for me because I know I didn't want to drop out of school.
Well, you say your grandmother, so do you think your grandmother, was she older and couldn't run up after you?
She was older, but she ran after us.
Okay.
Like she came outside with the switch.
Yeah, we got it. See, the discipline.
Well, everybody got beat.
Nah, but the discipline different now. You can't even hit your kids no more.
Yeah.
Anything my grandmother picked up, that's what we got hit with. We got hit with switches, dopes. Oh yeah, spoons. She hit us with the spatula. I'm sorry, like everything she got.
Anything. That's why I'm against the beatings and stuff, because I got beat too, and I think I did whatever I was gonna do anyway and just took the beating.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
Like,
and when I see people on social media talking about, oh, we need to go back to the days of the beating and all that stuff, I don't agree with that.
No,
I don't agree with that.
Because we did with it. My grandmother allowed her son to tear us up every chance he got, and we still was doing whatever we want.
And sometimes we got beatings for reasons unknown.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't even know what the hell you was getting the beating
I was getting beatings. My brother didn't even tell me what he did. So when my uncle came in the room, when he came with that big belt, I was like, bro, what I'm getting beat for? And I'm like, what you do? And he kept saying no. I asked my other brother, like, he probably beat me this because I stole a cake out of the store. I'm like, a cake? You know, cakes is like 15 cents, 25 cents.
Yeah, I remember the little Debbie cakes used to be 25 cents.
Yeah, now they 50 cents. Yeah, 75 cents.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's I think it's part of. I think it's you got to blame the parents.
That's what I'm thinking. A part of me saying that you got to blame the parents. Another part of me saying that you got good parents that are working hard to put food on the table, and they can't be home all the time because they got to work them late shifts and all that.
Sometimes that's a problem too.
Yeah, but you can't blame a parent for wanting to provide all the things for the kid.
But they don't understand that or see that at that age. They're not paying attention to that.
Well, I think that what I would like to understand is the difference in a general sense, because I know every individual is different, but the general sense of what makes a child just do something bad as opposed to just do something that's going to land you in detention.
It's not so much of the parents either. It's the kids that they hang around with too that is a bad influence. Like your kid, like your kids, you can speak on them when you know what they would do and what they want to do. But there's another part that you don't know what they want to do. When they with their friends, and
the peer pressure is very, very strong.
Pressure, so just trying to be down and be cool and don't want to look like that being called. So I spark up this blunt right here, and you don't even know how to pull. You don't even know how to inhale. You don't even know what you're doing. But you don't want to ask because you trying to be down. You trying to be cool. So I took a smoke before my first smoke. I was like, I just blowing the smoke. I'm looking at. That's what it looked like when you looking at them. They just and they looking at me like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, I'm doing the same thing you doing. Nah, man, you got. You get that hit, man,
did you eventually do it the way it's supposed to be done?
Yeah, but then that's when the cough and everything call it. And I'm like, yo, this ain't for me, bro. I ain't doing that. And then you get peer pressure.
See, but you can make that decision as to what you're going like, because clearly you said that's not for me and opted not to do it. So young people do have the ability to make decisions about what they want to do and what they don't want to do.
You down with it for that? That's when you really stand on saying this not for me. I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? I don't care if you think I'm not cool or not. It ain't for me. But you got some kids that just don't care. They still do it, even when they really want to say they don't want to do it, just to be down.
We was told there's no such thing as peer pressure.
That's the way I tell my kids. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about everybody. I don't want to hear about they did. I don't want to hear about my friends. I don't want to hear about none of that.
That's how my grandmother taught us.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as peer pressure. So we couldn't even say.
You got a decision on your own to make. You can't. Don't try to blame that on them.
I tell my kids all the time. I said that, and this, excuse y'all all out. I'm just telling you, we raw up in here, so I'm just gonna tell you what I tell my kids, and I have told them all along. If I ain't push you out of my vagina, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in how you feel, what you thinking about. I'm interested in five of y'all, and that's all I want to hear about. And y'all know what to do. Like, y'all know what to do. Y'all know what to do and what not to do. So I don't want to hear about none of that other stuff.
But then even as an adult, you still get peer pressured. And
who?
Nah.
You mean a full? What kind of? Okay, let's move on because I want to. How many minutes we got? Because we be going on and on and on. Let's move past to you got out. Get out. Okay, let's move up because we got to get to the positive. So you had your first. So you continued to be a knucklehead because you thought it was fun, and then you had your first baby.
and still was having fun.
Okay, so what about, did the first baby did have any impact on you whatsoever? And did you think you were in love? Did you want to marry the baby's mother, or what was it? A happy accident, a surprise? Like what happened with that?
Thinking back on it now, I think I was more in lust than love. I felt like I loved
Oh, you thought you were in love?
Yeah, I thought
okay.
I was in love.
Okay.
Thinking back on it, don't hold me to nothing right now at 2019. But thinking back on it, I was more in lust, and I thought I was in love. My heart was all over the place. My brain was all over the place. So when I had the baby out of lust, because I thought I was in love, and I thought I wanted to be. I never seen myself getting married. I never seen myself being married. I just thought I could see myself being with this person for however long it took. And
so, but you thought that you were going to be together, not necessarily married, but just be together.
Yeah, be together. And then after the first baby, I still was having fun, still running the street. I'm still saying, then she's small, she don't know nothing. You know, I'm 22 years old. That saying.
What you said 23?
I said I had my first daughter at 22.
Oh, 22, okay.
Yeah. That first baby, it don't give you that. Around that time, it didn't make me feel like, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. I was like, you know that saying where they say, you 22 years old, if you go to jail for 5 years, you still gonna come back out young. We went off of that.
Really?
Yeah, we lived off of that. It was like, damn, because I'm 25, I'm still young, I'm still energetic, more run time. It hit me when I got 30, when I got like 32, 30. All those years doing absolutely nothing.
And nothing to show for it either?
Nothing.
Okay, so 23, and then did you have any baby? You had two more babies.
9 years later, I had.
That was in the 30s.
Yeah, in the 30s.
Okay.
9 years later.
So from 22 up until 30, you still was in and out jail doing all the knucklehead stuff.
Yeah,
okay. And then you came home and then had the second baby.
No, I didn't have the second baby right away. I had the second baby 2.5 years ago. And right now, I'm about...
The second baby, that's the third baby.
I mean, the third baby. Yeah, the third baby.
Hello?
Yeah, I said I had the second baby 9 years after the first one.
That's what I said.
Now the third... Yeah, now my...
No, we're not to the last one yet.
Okay.
So you came home, and you still were playing around, but you had a baby. The second person that you had a baby, was that someone that you also intended in the beginning to spend the rest of your life with?
I felt more confident with that one than I did my first relationship.
Okay.
Because I dealt with her much longer. 8 years. My first one, I was like only 2-3 years, and I had a baby. And so now, the second one, I've been with her. There's a gap in between because my daughter's 17, the other one 10, and then I got
the last baby you had, you were out altogether, didn't go back to any type of criminal activity when you had the third baby, the 2.5-year-old. You were on point.
Yeah.
Yes.
No more games.
Okay.
No
more games.
Yeah.
So tell us, because we don't got much time left. What is the exact age where it hit you? I'm done. I ain't doing this no more. I'm too old. It's not worth it.
35.
Damn.
36. 35. 36. Yep. No more. It was like it was over.
Now, where were you when it hit you? Were you in or were you out?
I was out, but in my head, when I was in, I was telling myself I had no direction. I still didn't have no direction what I wanted to do, how I was going to do it. It's just that I got plugged in by a friend that brought me into the job that I'm working at now, and that's the only way that took me. Yeah, I figured it out from there. But once I started traveling on the road and knowing my way around and meeting different people, different warehouses, I didn't even know my personality was is strong. I thought I just had the personality of a street person, street dudes, feeling to deal with. But when I started dealing with different types of character, white people, Spanish people, different races, I seen how strong my character was. Because my vocabulary was different. I'm still saying the N-word. I'm still saying when I talk to you, it's always cussing. I always got to cuss.
I still curse too to this day.
But then when I started dealing with these different people, different companies, they wasn't happy with some of the stuff that came out of my mouth. I had a few complaints, like they called my boss like, hey, this guy will talk crazy. he works pretty good, but and then my boss kind of helped me transition my vocabulary around, and even my attitude, because I had a Jewish dude that invited me to his private part. I was like, man, what the fuck? Because, we don't play like that. But then I realized that's how they play. They play like that with each other at the job.
In his experience, we're not nothing in general. So from you working, those were jokes that they didn't offend other people.
It don't offend them, but it offend me, because saying it out on the street to each other was like fighting words. You know how it is. And once I noticed that, I still can't, even to this day, I still can't get used to that. But I try to ignore it, and I act like I try to smile with it, because if I go about it my way, I won't have no job. So some of the stuff I gotta suck up and just deal with it and shove it off like I ain't even here.
But you make sure to let them know that you don't play those games.
I don't play with you like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta let them know. Yeah.
I don't even want to open that kind of door. You're not gonna open that door. So I just come straight for business, sign paperwork, and let me go. I'm still cool and laugh and joke, but I don't want to play like this. And me learning how to, because I didn't know nothing about work. I never had a real job. Besides, I did exterminating, doing the bed bugs, robbing them, and that was like different for me. I got bit by a bed bug. Yeah, had my whole ankle like this, and and then because I wasn't going by the rules, and going to different states, going to different people's houses, seeing how different people live. That doesn't apply. That like that little, because you got bed bugs in your house. You can't just look at somebody like me or you and say, oh, your house can be the cleanest, and you still, because people get on buses, you know what I mean? You sitting right after somebody else, and so I learned. Did that help build your self-esteem a little bit more when you realized you could interact with different types of people? You didn't have to be in your little circle. Yeah.
And so how do you live? And so before we check out, how do you fit if you had to give a young person advice about how it was back in the days when you were in the street, how you felt then, and as opposed to how you feel now, what would you say to them? Because they might go through all of their lives and it not hit them until they're in their 30s and they've wasted all of their 20s.
I personally don't think that they even care.
Wow.
That's because
we can't inspire no damn body.
Nah, you can inspire, but you gotta be like that. One talk ain't enough for the dude.
But we talking right now though. This is the whole part of the point of the podcast.
Yeah, but let me tell you how. Okay. Everybody that came to me and told me, look, there's a better way than what you doing. I talked my head off. I still did what I wanted to do. I had to experience all the stuff that they told me not to do, I had to experience all of it for me to be where I'm at right now. So sometimes you got all that scared straight program, bringing them to the jail, the big muscular dudes going up in front of your face. That don't work.
Don't work?
Nah, they don't work. They gotta go through some, and it could be one experience. It don't have to be a few of them. It could be one experience that can make the person change. He could get in a car accident and almost lose his life. That'll make him different from him being out on the street, but it can make him change his whole frame of mind and say, yo, I almost got killed, almost died, I'm changing my life around. Or he could watch his man get shot. It could be anything. That one experience can make him change everything around. But he or she has to go through, they gotta go through the walks of life. And that's what we went through. I'm not saying, I'm not discouraging nobody from, trying to help change these kids and do different things with them. But my experience, it didn't work for me. I had to go through experiencing some of the foul stuff that I went through for me to change. And now they got these different kinds of programs that you're involving kids in, and the sports, and taking them on different trips. You got to take them outside of the element. Some of these kids haven't even been on a plane before.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean, they like 16, 17, 18. Some of them even 20, never even been on a plane before, never been out in a different state before.
On a bus.
Yeah, on the bus.
Right
yeah.
here.
Or like South Jersey, other parts of New Jersey.
A different state before. So once you take them out of the element and get them to see different things, that can also help change their views on how they look at things, because they're only isolated in that same little box, in that one box. You only going around the corner, going over here, you're going in the same areas. So once you take them out of that area, you probably get their brain. You got them right there. Then they'll start believing in you. They'll start listening to you. But if you don't got no other way to change their direction, they're gonna still do what they're gonna do.
Their kids gotta believe in too.
And that's what I do with my daughter. Like, I done took her out of state with me, seen the different language that you go down south, they whole languages, it's funny to her, but it's different. But so she not like the average females that's out here doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I speak to her, I talk to her, so she give me her, she always questioning, what Alabama like? And I'm like, hey, you want to try Alabama now? It's a different kind of accent from, but you got it. That might help them. There's different ways that you could go about it, but you got to take them out of the element. And once you do that, you probably could catch them like that. The strategy from what we was doing back in the day is not going to work. You can't use that same strategy from 30 years ago. It is different. The upbringing different. Everything different from nowadays. They haven't been nowhere. They haven't been to the zoo. Some of them haven't been to the zoo, to the Statue of Liberty. You used to take trips at school.
Sure did.
Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
Do all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And
you're right.
And your mother be right there. Your father go with you. A lot of them haven't been nowhere. So that's where we at with it.
All right. Well, on that note, I think the messaging would be, if you can, to try to expose your children as best you can to new and different things, so that they won't think that their little block is what the world is, and they will have the mindset to think differently about some of the things that they're doing with their so-called friends who are in that little tight circle.
And then that passes on to their friends when they go, yo, I went with my father down over here, bro. Yo, next time we go, yo. And even though he might think it's corny, he'll have a better chance listening to his friend about it than just hearing about it and looking at it on TV. You know what I mean? Because it's somebody closer to him that actually experienced going over here, and he telling him than looking at TV. So that's the strategy I would use if I was just take them to different places with you. Even if it, like, sometimes I tell my daughter, like, bring your friend. She can come.
Yeah, I think what you're saying
too.
is true. You really have to invest that time in your children.
But it's all about putting in the time.
Yeah. I think that's a very good message. So, listen. On that note, we're gonna leave, and we're gonna Preem's gonna put on some music for us. Thank you, Hamid, for sharing your story with us. I still think that's a wonderful story for any young people to listen to. Notwithstanding the fact that, yeah, you're right, a lot of young people are going to do what they want to do, but there might be one young person out there who will, get the message. So the message needs to be conveyed as often as we can. So with that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your Father's Day evening. And next week, we're going to talk about Miranda. I hope I'm going to be prepared. But
I had to change the title on that. Today's
lesson was invaluable. So thank you, Hamid, again. And thank everybody. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
I know Shakira went through it. She got her brothers. They all been in the street.
Well, you got a story to tell, but I don't know if you want to tell your story. Do you? In a neighborhood. I believe that.
But even in our circle, me and my brother wasn't those guys dumping pills and drinking and smoking, and it was around us every day. My mother thought we didn't know at 6, 7 years old. We was really looking at it like.
It's easy, it's just a word that isn't recorded. Someone has to find it out. So we use the other guys. Like, oh, it's another salad. I used to take it like it and all the time.
Would not stop. Just thought everything was just life was just a big party every day. Every day went out like it was a party. Then eventually, when she got hooked, she turned on to drugs. And by her turning on to drugs, it was easier for my brothers. Just walk right into it. It would have been easy for us. We did a lot of helping.
Okay, we're still on the Mevo. All right. Amen.
It's like, it's a lot of stuff to deal with.
Sounds like it.
It's a lot of stuff to deal with.